Funiculus umbilicus is a narrow cord of tissue that connects a growing embryo or fetus to the placenta. This cord, commonly known as the umbilical cord, is vital to the delivery of essential nutrients and blood to this baby. Without it, the baby could not survive while in the womb. Since the 1950s, doctors have been cutting this cord almost immediately after birth. The reason for this is efficiency. Now, working in a hospital as a military member in the United States, I understand the need for efficiency. Witnessing doctors during C-sections and labor, you can see that they immediately take action just to make the child and the mother more comfortable. But working in a NICU, which is a newborn ICU unit, you can also see that medicine still has a long way to come. One of the new techniques that can help this is called the delayed cord clamping technique. This technique has shown extreme benefits for the newborn and should be the standard for birth. Now, there are millions of babies being born every day, and there are millions of people becoming parents, but many of them don't know about the delayed cord clamping technique. So, the origin is that doctors were cutting the cords within 15 seconds of the child being born. They believed that the mother would have too much time to begin hemorrhaging if they waited to cut the cord. They also believe that babies could receive anesthetic through the mother's blood if staying attached to the placenta for too long. These theories have been discredited and no longer play a factor in today's cord clamping techniques. The only real risk is jaundice. Now, jaundice is a yellowing of the skin or eyes, and it can be caused by an excess of certain minerals in the body. In the human body, there is a substance called ferritin, which helps iron be stored in the tissues. There's also a substance called bilirubin, which breaks down the extra hemoglobin and rids the body of excessive iron. Now, according to Leela Dooley, author of Preterm Cord Clamping Technique Trials, when the technique of delayed clamping is implemented, there is a difference in the amount of iron and serum that the newborns receive. This means the baby can receive more iron, and the blood volume that is transferred provides that iron. The next process would be the bilirubin breakdown. Due to the massive influx of blood flow and iron that happens during birth with the delayed cord clamping technique, this bilirubin serum must work harder. Now, according to Kaneshiro, who wrote the article Newborn Jaundice, this can affect the skin and eyes, aka jaundice. As you read Kaneshiro's article, he also explains that there's a cure for this newborn jaundice. It's called phototherapy, where the child is laid down under a strong UV light, and it can cure this newborn jaundice within 48 hours. With the only real risk of delayed cord clamping being jaundice, there should be no reason that parents wouldn't choose this over the typical way to immediately cut the cord. Now, research has consistently shown benefits to the cord clamping. According to journal number 684 of the Committee of Obstetric Practices, the babies receive almost a third more blood volume. They carry more oxygen in their blood. They have better immune systems, and they have higher doses of nutrients essential to development. One of these key nutrients is iron. Now, when the umbilical cord is cut after several minutes, the baby can receive up to 7 months more of iron storage than a baby whose cord was cut immediately. The article Early Cord Clamping versus Delayed Cord Clamping versus Cord Milking shows that this increase in iron staves off newborn anemia and puts a newborn at a lower risk for developmental issues such as ADHD, autism, and other behavioral issues. Now, due to the fact that this new delayed cord clamping technique only started in the early 2000s, the amount of studies provided is limited. One such study is called the Cochrane Pregnancy and Childbirth Group Trials from 2012. They were conducted by a Dr. Rabi, a Dr. Reynolds, and a Dr. Diaz-Rosao. The results show that with the delayed cord clamping technique, there were less newborns that suffered from anemia and needed transfusions. Out of 738 newborns, 539 showed a decrease in intraventricular hemorrhaging. This means there are less newborns suffering from bleeding in the brain's ventricular system which normally can happen due to the trauma of birth. When the cord is allowed to pulse longer, it transfers more immunoglobulins and stem cells, which helps with inflammation and healing of vital organs. Can you imagine that? The brain is less likely to bleed and cause hemorrhaging if you just let the cord pulse a few minutes longer, like it should. Now, even with the risk of neonatal jaundice, the statistics research is provided leaves an undisputable fact. Delayed cord clamping technique has extreme benefits for newborns. The medical field is always advancing and changing. Millions of babies are born every year, and the technique used with childbirth to clamp the cord immediately was acceptable for decades, but should not be used any longer. As a parent, I implore you to step up, research different ways for your childbirth techniques. Ask doctors, find the hospitals that do this delayed cord clamping technique, and choose it over immediately cutting the cord. This could save your baby's development. It could save their lives. Please do your research. Thank you.